have the actual knowledge or history or understanding, you don't know what white privilege is. You didn't know what race is. You don't know what racism is. You are someone that benefits from these things. And until you are willing to acknowledge your privilege and give said privilege up, you cannot be someone that holds power. It's not personal to you. It's specifically based off of the entire structure. That's why when I talk about the patriarchal system, I don't just talk about demolishing the patriarchal system because of the white men that sit on top. I talk about the privilege that men have as a whole. I acknowledge the privilege that I have as far as being a man, and I understand how that negatively impacts people that are not men. And you don't understand that point.
Okay, so I want to respond to something directly you said. You said that once I give up my white privilege, then I can be in power. Then a white man can be in power if they give up their privilege first. And that's where we agree.
I didn't say, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Stop saying, no, Mac. Stop saying I essentially said shit. I didn't essentially say shit. I said what I said. I said you cannot be in power.
You could listen to that part again.
I said you cannot be in power as a white man because you don't acknowledge your privilege, nor have you given up your white privilege. That is not me saying that. That is 1 second. That is not me saying that, Mac, if you do this today, then you can stay in power. I still hold to my premise that we need to remove all white men from power because of the prompt that's on the background. Now, talking future, if there were a future where all white men have given up all of their privilege, sure, we can revisit it. But I'm not talking about you giving it up today. Exactly? I don't give a fuck about talking about the future as far as giving up the white privilege and how that actually works. That's not the point. The point is today, get them out of power because of that. But my point is, like, Mac, you don't know the things that you're sitting here trying to talk about, but for some reason you think that I'm one of the good ones that should continue to have power. Howdy, partner. Like, again,
well,
if I said here, power, Mac, if you sat here and said, well, what about Parker? What about Dean? And those are two of my best friends. Those are my little brothers. And I'm sitting there saying, yes, Parker and Dean too. Why do you think I would make an exception for Mac? If I'm not making an exception for Parker or Dean or any other good white man that you can name, why would I make an exception for you?
Listen, I think that is just an inherently racist statement in general to make that we should
not because you don't know how race works.
It's also not practical. It's also not practical, right? Because there's so many white people that are in power in our government. If we were just to remove all of them today, then we would essentially have no government. Like, it's just an absurd statement to make. Remove white men from power today. Who are you going to replace them with? It'd be
anyone that's not a white man, Mac. Anyone that's not a white man. I don't care. Okay, but I don't care. Any person that's not a white man, put them in power. Listen, Mac, I need you to lock the fuck in on this. I need you to lock the fuck in on this.
I got one question. Let me ask you one question.
Because you keep trying to go to other stuff and you don't even have what's in front of you. You keep saying that it's racist. You have not. You keep saying that it's racist when that's not how racism works. You can't be racist towards white people because that's not how racism was created to work. You can be bigoted towards white people. You can be hateful. You can be a lot of things, but you can't be racist because that's not how racism was created to work.
We know the power of voice for ads, for experiences, for connecting with your customers. Why should you believe us? Because we've helped hundreds of brands take their campaigns into international markets. We've created the voice assistant for your future luxury vehicle. And we taught the world toolboxes can be epic. Wow. How can we do it? Because we have talent in over 100 countries. The best voice actors in the biz. Emmy-winning, Tony-winning. Incredible catch! That's why the most trusted brands continue to use voices. We're the world's biggest and best source for professional voice talent. And we're here to take your creative production to the next level.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that replaces all of these. I'm talking about live scheduling, time tracking, and digital forms that help you stay in control. Use instant team updates and personal or group chats to communicate easily and effectively. So stop spreading your business across apps, whiteboards, binders, platforms. It's exhausting, it's expensive, and honestly, it's unnecessary. Join thousands of businesses that simplified employee management, cut costs in basically half, and got back the time to focus on what matters most. Start your free trial now at connectteam.com.
Less.
Okay, these are trivial facts once again.
No. It's not trivial. I promise you, once I get you to this point, you'll understand what I'm saying.
200 years.
A little bit more, 250. We just established what year, because we're not there yet, but this year, how old will the US be?
We're around the 250 mark.
Yes. This year, the US will be 250 years old, right?
Okay.
So that's the average where nations collapse. Now, who would you say is the dominant superpower in the world today?
Well, the U.S. has the strongest military.
The United States of America, yes. The United States of America is the dominant superpower in the world today, and it has the currency that is the global currency. The US dollar is the global currency that other countries can trade in. It's the center and focal point of currency currently, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that, yeah.
Did you know that the United States of America is doing the exact same things that the last 5 superpowers, 5 who had the centralized currency of the world, the last 5, the exact same things that all 5 of those superpowers did that caused their country to collapse?
Okay, I don't know what 5 things you're specifically referencing.
I'm not saying 5 things. I'm saying the last 5 superpowers were the currency, where their currency was the global currency.
Okay, got it.
They're following the economic, they're following the trade, and they're following the exact same governmental structures. And I'm sorry, the not structures, but the implementation as far as the people within government, all of them did literally the exact same thing that caused them to collapse. And now the United States is doing the exact same thing. That's why the value of the dollar is down. That's why the actual wealth gap has increased. That's why the unemployment rate is up. That's why we are currently at war. That's why we are becoming isolationist. All of those things were the things that all the other superpowers did, and it caused their country to collapse. So, Mac, the reason why I brought up the 250-year marker, and the reason why I brought up the fact that the United States of America is doing the exact same thing as the last 5 superpowers, is because we are literally at the cliff of falling off as a country if we don't make a massive change. So when you talk about it being chaotic to remove white men from our government, it's either that or our fucking country dies.
Wow. I mean, that's an insane, crazy claim to make. That unless we remove 78% of our elected government officials.
It's not 78%. It's less than 78%. Tell me what I said based off of the other information that I laid out was illogical.
Well, I'll just repeat your claim. You're saying that the United States has consistency with other 5 superpowers.
No, not consistency. They're literally taking the exact same steps. Not consistency, the exact same steps that caused the collapse of the previous 5 superpowers.
Sure. And essentially your claim here is that unless we remove all white men from power, we're going to follow suit and just cease to become a nation.
My claim was, you said it would be chaotic. I'm telling you that, one, it's not as chaotic as where we are because we're literally on the precipice of our country collapsing. And two, at the very least, it would be a complete shift away from the established history of our country, which would give us an opportunity to have a dramatic change and veer away from the edge. I'm not saying that's 100% would work. But what I am saying is the reason why I brought up the fact that 90% of all Congress over the 250-year history of our country has been white men. If you at least take out the people who has shaped the country since its inception and give an opportunity to people who haven't done that to try to do something different, there's at least a chance.
Okay, so let's just say, granted, for the argument that I just agree with you on everything. Now let's talk about practically how this could possibly play out. You say, all right, we must remove white men from power. So, and you say it's not 78%. Let's just say it's 50%. Let's lowball it. We go in and we say 50% of you are now gone. Who do we replace them with?
Anyone else that's not a white man.
Okay. And what would be the predominant race that exists in America?
I don't give a shit. I don't really care about the race. Like, I'm not saying remove white men because I'm worried about white people, the race. I'm saying remove white men because white men are the ones that have gotten us into this shit. That okay, I need you to focus on that. You keep saying what predominant race. I'm not consumed by race. I'm not advocating for black people to take all the power. That's not what I'm doing. I'm telling you, white men specifically have fucked us all. Whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent, it's been white men. That's why I keep saying it's men, white men. That's why you said, oh, an entire race. I'm not talking about white women. I'm only talking about white men.
So we're not removing any white woman?
No.
Okay. Because, I mean, you say that white privilege exists only within men,
yes.
but not women? Interesting, because
women
the examples you gave me of going to a bank
are women part of a marginalized group?
A marginalized group? It depends on what you mean by marginalized, because I mean women obviously make up 50% of the population.
Are women a part of a marginalized group?
Are you saying that women are oppressed? Is that what you're trying to get at here?
Are women a part of a marginalized group?
Again, it would depend on how you are defining the word marginalized, because marginalized would typically mean that they are part of a lower percentage of the population, when in fact they are 50% of the population. So no, they are not marginalized. They are the same population of men.
You're wrong. You're wrong because women are, in the U.S. population, they're more than 50%, Bub. So that's not what I'm talking about.
They're definitely not marginalized.
I'm not talking about the percentage of women in the country. That's not.
Then again, you'd have to further clarify what you mean by marginalized. Because typically, what I associate the word marginalized with would be populations that are lesser than in comparison to the rest of a nation.
I got you. Don't worry about it.
If you just want to give me some clarification on what you mean by the word marginalized.
Go ahead and read that.
So this is what you mean by marginalized. They're excluded or discriminated against based on their gender.
Are women part of a marginalized group?
In a lot of ways, maybe, but in a lot of ways, no. I mean, they have the same opportunities that we men do.
What's the gender wage gap?
Well, that's the thing. It's based on merit. So if a woman does as good a job as a man,
wage gap? What is Mac, you're being disingenuous as fuck. I didn't say, tell me about your personal experience. I said, what is the gender wage gap?
I do not have that statistic on hand.
I'm not saying what is the percentage. I'm saying, what is it? What is it? Not what's the number? What is, when I talk about the gender wage gap, what am I talking about?
You're talking about how much money men make more than women in this society, more specifically.
I'm talking about the discrepancy as far as men and women when it comes to pay for the same jobs. The actual gap, the actual gap that's not based off of merit. It's not based off of skill. It's not based off of job title. It is literally based off of the fact that a woman is a woman. What's a pink tax?
Okay, well, that's
what's a pink tax?
I think that it's just a disingenuous statement to make in general.
What's a pink tax?
Well, hold on. I'm going to respond to everything that you said. Because I haven't got a chance to really.
You can respond. It's all connected, Mac. It's all connected. I don't want you to respond. I don't want you to respond to just this one piece, because you're going to try to respond to the second piece, and it's connected. What is the pink tax?
I don't know what the pink tax is.
Santana, the pink tax is the additional cost that women have to pay for the same products that men have, or for women products, i.e. razors. Women razors, same brands, same types, cost more than men razors. Women have to pay higher costs for menstrual products like tampons. Those things are
men don't have to pay for those things.
For razors, for razors, men don't buy razors. Right.
Yeah, so if that was truly the case, then I would just implore women to buy men's razors. They're just razors at the end of the day.
Why would a company make two types of razors that are the same? One is black, one is pink. Both of them have 3 blades. Both of them have gel on it. Both of them have a standard handle. This one's $1. This one's $1.50.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? No. I don't say no. I don't care about what advice you would give women. I'm saying, why would companies do that?
Yeah, I'm going to answer your question. Because women are generally more hygienic than men are. So there's going to be a higher. There's going to be a
fucking God
supply and.
Do you know what?
There's supply and
do you know what an ultra-crepidarian is?
Buy more razors than men are.
Do you know what an ultra-crepidarian is?
An ultra? No, I've never heard that word before in my life. I would like
to know
to
what Dunning-Kruger is.
To some of the things you said, though. What?
Do you know what Dunning-Kruger is?
Dunning-Kruger. That's a company, right? I don't know what Dunning-Kruger is either. You keep on spitting all these trivial facts at me. You're not really giving me a chance to. Respond to what you're saying.
It's only trivial facts because you don't understand them. Like, literally, that's the only reason you feel like they're trivial facts, is because you don't understand the information that you're being given. It's fine. Mac, I'm going to let you actually respond, but you got to give me 2 seconds. Because I'm way behind. Let me say thank you to a couple of people, and then I'm going to give you the floor, and you can respond. Okay? Just 2 minutes.
Before you do that, I do need to jump in the shower. I wanted to say it was really nice to meet you, nice to talk to you. I have a, I kind of want to ask you a question real quick. Are you going to be the guest that I talk to? Are you going to be the guest that I talk to on Jubilee next month? Because I've been trying to figure it out.
Even if I was, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. Like, I think that's one of, like, you do understand that, like, you have to sign an NDA, right?
Yeah. I thought maybe you'd tell me on the lowest word.
Yeah, but also you do understand that there's like about combined 2.5 thousand people watching. You do understand what an NDA is, right?
Non-disclosure agreement.
Can you hold off for like 2 more seconds? I'm not even going to read the thank yous yet. I wanted to give Swan a moment, if you don't mind. Just okay. Swan, floor is yours.
You want me to stay on?
Yes, please. Yeah. Swan.
Can you name a system that exists today that upholds whiteness?
A system that exists that upholds whiteness?
Yeah.
No. Can you?
Yeah. Our healthcare system, banking, education, criminal justice system.
Okay, so are you trying to imply that white men are not subject to the criminal justice system, as if we commit crimes, we don't get sentenced for them, we don't get convicted for them? Do black people not have access to health care? Well, what exactly are you trying to get at here?
Well, when we look at the impact of these particular systems onto people's material conditions, we see that there is a difference, a disparity on the basis of race. So not saying that no Black person has access to healthcare, right? What we're saying is based on information put out by the New England Journal of Medicine, the CDC and PubMed or NIH, that we see that when it comes to, for example, the maternal and infant mortality rate for Black women versus white women is 3 times higher. That's because of medical racism. When Western medicine was developing, Black people were not considered human beings, right? So we see that there is a level of neglect when we look at the outcomes, right, of people's experiences within our healthcare system.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you have heard me and Santana's conversation, but seemingly I agree with almost everything that both of you say as far as racism goes. I just think that it's counterintuitive to make the statement that we should remove white men from power, because I would rather make the statement that we should remove white supremacy from power, and that we should look to each other as equals. I am no better than you because of your race. You are no better than me because of your race. I think that we should all just be equals. We should not remove white men from power. We should just remove white supremacy from power.
So no, then what we would be, if we remove white supremacy, then we would be removing white men.
But not all white men are white supremacists.
Well, if there's no more white supremacy, then there would be no white people, period. Because we wouldn't be using.
Then you're making a very
wait, Mac, I'm not done, Mac, I'm not done. Listen to what I'm saying to you. If we remove white supremacy, then there would be no more white people, right? Because, hold on, wait, don't cut me off. Just listen.
Sorry, I heard a pause. I thought you were done talking. Go ahead.
I'll let you know when you can talk. There would be no more white people because the concept of whiteness would be gone. So we would go by other labels. So again, there wouldn't be any white men or white people, period, if we remove white supremacy.
Okay. And then I could just make the reverse statement on your side. It sounds like you would then be okay with Black supremacy, like because someone is.
Let me give you an example of what I mean. Before the 1400s, Irish people were Irish, right? Before the 1400s, English people were English. Before the 1400s, Black people on the continent of Africa were African, right? And they would go by their tribal name, whether it be Igbo, Yoruba, Fulani, right? So what I'm explaining to you is that before the concept of whiteness was created and existed, right? People did not label themselves by racial categories because there was no racial hierarchy that existed. So what I am saying is, if we get rid of the construct of whiteness, then there would be no reason for a category of white to exist. People would go by other labels, right? So if we get rid of whiteness, then a person may consider themselves Irish, right? Or maybe they would consider themselves Australian, something along those lines. That's what I'm explaining to you.
Okay, so then perhaps you would agree with the statement that we should remove whiteness, like you just said. We should also remove Blackness, and we can all just be Americans. So therefore, we don't need to remove white men from power. We need to just keep Americans in power. People that.
I think the problem here, though, Mac, is that you don't understand how whiteness works and how violent white men have been, right?
I do understand.
To preserve it. Hold on, to preserve it, right? Y'all need a little practice. Y'all have not obtained the ability to see the humanity in other people yet. So yeah, it's going to have to be another group of people that's going to hold it down for a little bit.
Well, that's just where I just think that we should remove this construct of race around human beings. You and I are equal. There's no reason to say that because of someone's inherent phenotypical characteristics that they should not have the opportunity to be in power in a government elected position just because of their skin color.
If that's the
It's
case,
not skin color. Stop saying skin color.
Yeah.
I've said this like 50 times. Stop saying skin color.
Phenotypical characteristics that are inherent. How about that? It's a really long way to say skin color, but yeah, phenotypical characteristics that are inherent. Because of those phenotypical characteristics that are inherent, no one should be considered or not be considered for a government elected office.
Mac, do you know what racialization is?
Racialization?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. Explain it to me.
I'm asking you a yes or no.
I've got about 3 minutes because my phone's at 3%. I got to get it on the charger and I got to get in the shower. I've been trying to get out of here for like 30
The reason why you're not comprehending what the solution would be is because you don't understand how racism works and functions in society.
Okay, so I'm going to get the definition of racism maybe, and we'll see if we can agree upon it.
Mac, can you stop cutting me off while I'm in the middle of speaking? The problem here is that you don't understand how racism functions. You reading the definition to me, it's not going to debunk or disprove all of the knowledge I have from researching how racism functions in society. My understanding goes far deeper than a definition in a dictionary, right? It's based on a sociological theory called structural functionalism, where you have systems that were created to uphold whiteness, and those systems afford all white people privilege and control of resources through the exploitation and dehumanization of non-white people.
Okay, gotcha. I agree with everything that you're saying. I think that's the disconnect here, is that I do agree that we need to get rid of whiteness and supremacy and the social construct around race in general. Instead of saying that white men should be removed from power, we should say that white supremacy should be removed from power, and that the president
keep saying that shit, and I've already said no. Like, you keep saying that, and I've already said no. Oh, I didn't do it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You know what it was? Dr. Francis Cress Welsing talks about a particular fear that privileged people have when they have to consider and contend with equity.
They are terrified of equity. Terrified of equity, Swan. Swan, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you.
Of course, I'll be in the chat.
All right, have a good one. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Why would we end the war? We're winning the war. We're dominating. Why would we end? We have money to make.
So you disagree with the background then?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a yes or no question. I just wanted to make sure. But that's cool. I'll talk to you. Hey, but your username has like a bunch of numbers, and it's going to be hard for me to say that. What can I call you?
American citizen.
Can I call you Thomas? Like after
American
Thomas Jefferson?
Citizen.
I'm going to call
you
TJ
call you fuck
for short.
nigger?
Sure, you can. But that doesn't hurt my feelings because I'm not a snowflakes. Listen, I know you're trying to slur because STR, you're trying to crash out. Listen, yes, nigger, nigger, nigger. Ooh, so scary, so scary. No one's scared of your fragile white, like literally, you guys are so fucking mediocre.
Millions search with AI every day, but what does it actually say about your brand and why? With AI optimization by SEMrush Enterprise, you can track AI visibility, sources, and sentiment at scale across different regions and brands. Find competitive opportunities and ways to improve. Be the brand AI search recommends.
With Duda's AI stack, you can upload your client brief to generate a personalized website. Then, share that site with your client without ever leaving the platform. Elevate it by generating custom functionality on the fly. No heavy coding or plugins necessary. Instead of busy work, now you can just skip to the good part. Finally, AI where you want it, when you need it, every step of the way. From SEO to full site generation, discover Duda's full AI stack at duda.co.
Exactly, fuck nigger. No one, you keep saying that, but nothing's happening. Did you notice that? Did you notice that? Did you notice how many times I've said it?
You mad?
Yeah, I hear you. No one is running. You didn't, no, you're mad. You're mad. You know why? You're mad? You're mad because you're being replaced. Ooh, white men are being replaced. White men are being replaced. Hey, you're going to be a minority.
Snowflake alert.
You're going to be a minority. The white country is no more. America is no longer a white country. It doesn't belong to white people anymore. Guess what? The blacks and the Jews are taking the country. And the white men, you guys are the minority.
Back to Africa.
Yeah, I hear you. You're weak. You're too much of a coward to actually turn on your camera. And yeah, I know. Just fuck off. Like, it's mind-blowing that they think that, like, their weak-ass racism. I know. Their weak racism is anything to actually be worried about. Hi, Austin. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
No, sorry. I just wanted to come up and, just say I support you, and just as a white man, I just want to say I'm sorry for that fucking idiot, man.
No worries. I appreciate you. Guys, please only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. I'm looking for some debates. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Sunlight, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no. Let's go ahead and drop him down. A couple of quick thank yous. I've been trying to get these off for a while. W's in the chat for Tori, who sent a $20 super chat to say, sir, check your privilege and sit down, listen and learn and change. As much as you want to see yourself as one of the good ones, you're still participating in the problem, not acknowledging the Black experience. Like, yeah. And W's in the chat for Leap Leonard, who sent a $2 super chat to say, the guest is making me bang my head against the wall. It was so bad. W's in the chat for those donos. W's in the chat for Garrett for the $5 donor. Say perfect example that he knew the white presenting rapper, but not the Black presenting singer. Exactly. It's wild that he knew who Logic was, but not Lenny Kravitz. W's in chat for Nancy for the $5 donation, saying perfect example of redlining. Brock Turner got an example. Oh, that's not redlining, but yeah, white privilege. Brock Turner got a lower punishment, raping a girl unconscious behind a dumpster. Immigrant. Imagine if that had been a Black man, a different punishment. Exactly. That was in the chat for that. Hi, Demand. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Hi there. I'm not really a Trump supporter, but I do have some questions about the background. So when you say remove U.S. global presence, are you talking political or military? Because there's also a
military
topic that says cut military budget.
Military. It goes hand in
hand. Can we? I guess we can talk about both of those then. Can we?
Do you disagree with those things?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hold tight for a second. W's in the chat for Nancy. Thank you so much for the $5. W's in the chat for Marie for the $1 donation. Saying it's all a show for them. Might equals right, but it doesn't. No system is infallible, and Iran has been prepping us for decades. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And then Marie also sent another $1 donation saying, Santana, you're playing with your food. Clearly, he's clearly a white man threatened by a coherent the concept of mediocrity may not be enough. Hey, white guy, this is why white ladies aren't interested. I fucking nailed that. W's in the chat for Jared for the $1 donation and said, Mac is so afraid of us not surviving without white supremacy. He is. W's in the chat for Shannon for the $5 donation saying Black labor isn't free and this bub isn't going to donate. No, isn't going to donate. Trivia education. My AWS, sorry, is not. More. Listen, Shannon, you're awesome. Thank you so much for that donation. W's in the chat for Shannon. W's in the chat for Tino for the $5 donation. Say, I bet Mac family changes the subject when someone asks about him. He's embarrassing every teacher he ever had. W's in the chat for Brittany for the $5 donation. This guy is listening to respond, not listening to learn definition of white patriarchy. Right? W's in the chat for Brianna for the $5 donation saying, I'm broke as hell, but you deserve something after those last two guests. Stay strong, King. I appreciate you so much. W's in the chat for Conway for the $5 donation saying, for the BS you got to put up with on a daily, lots of love. Thank you so much. That means the absolute world to me. Thank you. And W's in the chat for the inconspicuous typo for the $4.99 super chat to say, he said, Dunning-Kruger is a company. He did say that. He did. Whew. All right. And W's in the chat for all the donos. Guys, if anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Also, guys, make sure if you look up at the top, you see the word follow. You're not following me, hit that follow button. We're trying to get to 100,000 followers. So please, please, please hit that follow button. Last but not least, if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates. Okay, so you said you disagree with the premise of cutting the military budget and removing the U.S. presence. Which one would you like to start with first?
I think let's just go ahead and knock out the military presence of the world. Would you like to start, or do you want me to start?
Sure. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
No worries. I'm sick too, so if you hear some stuff from my voice, I apologize.
Okay. Yeah. The point that I'm making with removing the U.S. presence is the United States has anywhere from 750 to 800 military bases around the world. And while I think there is a need to be able to support our allies and be able to respond in a defensive measure, I think the overwhelming force and presence that we currently have is not necessary. I think that with reducing the overwhelming force and presence that we have while still supporting our allies and will cool the global tensions as far as the military-industrial complex that perpetuates the entire world. It allows us to use the money that we're no longer using on, supporting foreign bases and spaces and places to have that better allocated to our soldiers and the American people. I think that doing all of these things would also help with the amount of American soldiers that are being required to actually fuel the military-industrial complex, young men and women that are being pumped into the military and sent off to war. So the premise that I have overall is, while I do agree with being able to support our allies and having some ability to respond globally depending on what is happening, I think the overwhelming force and presence that we have is harmful and it needs to be removed.
Okay, so let me see if I'm tracking what you said so far. So you did say that it's important and they're there for a reason. You just don't think there should be that many servicemen and women in those areas at that specific time. Is that pretty much what you said in the gist?
Yeah, it's too much of a current presence.
Okay, so I guess let's just go off of what's going on today. Today, around the Middle East, the U.S. Fifth Fleet and Pac Fleet are moving towards the Straits of Hormuz and the Middle East, right? So based off of what's going on today, and I'm not saying, I agree with what's going on, but it is happening. Are you saying that you wouldn't agree that they would be there for a reason and it's important for us to have a presence in that region at this specific time?
Why are they there?
They're there because of the war that's going on between Israel, Iran, and us.
Yeah, but who roped the U.S. in?
Who roped the U.S. in? That I'm not totally educated about. I do know that Israel is one of our strongest allies. So
hold on. You said between Israel, the U.S., and Iran, right? So let's take the U.S. out. Who roped the U.S. in? Was it Iran or Israel?
Well, like I said, I'm not totally educated on that fact, but I would assume
have you had to
Israel,
take a guess?
By the way.
Got it.
Yeah, I did. I don't know if you heard me or not.
Yeah. I also have cut ties with Israel up there. The only reason that's
what I was making my guess on is because it was up there.
The only reason that we are currently in this conflict is because Donald Trump was too weak to say no, just like Joseph Robinette Biden did, because Bibi Netanyahu actually tried to go to the Biden administration and tell them that Hezbollah was getting ready to strike the U.S. And if they didn't actually strike them first, then, the U.S. is going to be in trouble. The Biden administration, through their intelligence, said, we don't have that information and we're not going to do it. The Trump administration, even though their intelligence said, we don't have that information, Donald Trump said, okay, we'll do it. And so we went on the offensive with Israel because Israel said we should.
I understand. Yeah, like I said, I'm not totally up to date on politics. I'm not totally educated on everything that's going on. So that's why I don't really talk about it. You know what I mean? However, I did bring up the military because that is one subject I am kind of sort of educated on.
Yeah. My entire point of what I just said was said because it's not saying there's never going to be an instance where we have to respond in certain areas, but again, that's why I keep saying defensive versus offensive. And the strikes in Iran were offensive strikes, which Israel has been in the last year and a half has struck 9 different countries. 9 different countries. They have been the aggressors as far as striking them first, and they've said that we're striking them as a preemptive strike. So
yeah, well, it's always better to be reactive than reactive.
Yeah, but when
I'm not saying in that sense exactly.
Wait. When you do that to 9 different countries, right? Come on now.
Oh no, I'm agreeing.
They did that in a year and a half. They did that to 9 different countries, and said all 9 were preemptive.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you're looking it up. Good for you.
Oh no, I am. I'm trying to look at this. Like I'm here for an education as well. I'm here to speak on topics, and then I'm also here for an education.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking up Israel striking 9 countries.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of countries.
Yep. That's what they do. That's how they get down. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 300,000 likes. Also, if you would like to support the live, again, Black people labor ain't free. Holla at your boy. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you if you're on YouTube. You can send a super chat, and I will read that out. So
right,
the
well,
point
hey, brother,
that
I guess we. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you still going?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say the point that I'm getting across is like again, I understand the basis behind like being able to respond and support allies. I'm not taking that premise away from
yeah, that's the only point I was
us.
trying to make there.
Yeah, I think that's important, but I also think it's important that we take the position of of defensive and not offensive, right? That's the entire premise. Also, I'm going to throw this on the screen for everyone else. It's missing a country, but like still, that's fine. I'm going to put this up anyway so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, like that's the basis of what I am saying.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to speak with me.
Oh, so you agree now?
Yeah, no, I am. I mean, the only point that I wanted to make is having a presence is important. I'm not necessarily how large of a presence is important, but we do have to have key areas of responsibility and where we are and what we're doing. And, you're there for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess that's the only point I want to make. And it seems like we both do agree on that.
All right. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good one, brother.
All right. You as well. Hmm. You guys see those countries? It's fucking wild, right? Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We are only we're looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. I'm positive. I'm like really positive this isn't a debate. Watch this, because they were like, "Let me up. Can I join?" Oh.
Hi, bro. I'm Syrian.
Nailed it. W's in the chat for Patty for the $20 donation. Saying, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Patty, stop it. Stop it, Patty. Massive W's in the chat for Patty. Patty says, sorry, can't do more because you do so much and tolerate even more impossible incels. You're awesome and I adore you. I adore you way more, Patty. Thank you so much for the $20. That is a lot of money and you are incredibly kind. Yeah, look at that. We got a restriction. We're going to have to hit a reset, guys. W's in chat for Stasha for the $15 donation. It physically hurts me to hear people slur. As a white person, I'm ashamed and absolutely heartbroken by the blatant racism exhibit. Sorry, Santana, I love you much. I love you too. Guys, let's hit a quick reset just to be on the safe side. We'll
established by society, for society, etc.
Right, but who makes
that this is something that?
But who makes you go to it?
Hopefully, we can get you to a point where you understand that it's for your own damn good. Because
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but at the same time, I don't find in this scenario, I don't find that it's morally wrong. So. Just because you find something morally wrong doesn't mean that I find it morally wrong. Therefore, I don't need to follow the things that you think should happen if there's no laws about it.
And I guess that's something I don't necessarily understand how somebody would come to that kind of a conclusion that putting other people in danger would be morally right, considering that
right, but because morals are subjective. That's why you and I can't understand that, because I mean, without getting anecdotal or anything, same thing with me. I don't drink because
your perfect domain is out there. Go to Wix and make it yours. Claim your space online. Own your name, your brand, your breakthrough. And the rest just clicks. It all starts with a domain. What's yours?
I always say you can't manage what you can't see. Monday.com shows you the full picture like that. Statuses, timelines, budgets, all in one clear dashboard. I used to waste way too much time trying to figure out where everything was. Files were here, updates were there, meetings. I mean, so many meetings. Now that AI is basically baked into everything we do, I've got even more clarity. It shows me which projects actually align to our yearly goals, flags issues before they eat up time and budget. It's like having a built-in me in every project. It even recommends the right team members for each task. I know it sounds like you have to have a PhD to use AI, but with Monday.com, it couldn't be easier. I mean, hands down, I have no idea how I kept it all together before.
Start your free trial today at Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
People around me growing up that were alcoholics, that were not good people, right? So I understand when you're coming from that part. So we can't see why somebody would think oppositely or opposite of us, right? But that's because morals are subjective. And we can't control other people's morals unless we snuff it out. But then at that point, you're calling for extermination for people. And that doesn't sound very utopian to me.
I would never do that either.
I know.
I would never do that either.
all this to say,
especially since I'm disability retired and them trying to bring back the ugly laws. I'm trans. They're trying to bring back the whole thing about keeping us out of public.
Yeah.
They made it a felony. They made it a felony for me to even exist in public in Tennessee. So yeah, fuck that bullshit.
Yeah, I got you. And I understand. I was just, my whole thing was just, I used to be an anarchist or thought I was, until I truly kept going down the line and challenging myself and everything. Anarchy is just not possible because it contradicts itself. And if you don't believe me, I even got the tattoo to prove it.
Can I see it?
From a long, long time ago. You see the anarchy right there? Right there. It's hard to point. Anyways.
You better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts type lies, get left in chain. One wrong word, get slapped out your name. This ain't TikTok T, this a war zone talk. No script, no filter, no safe walk. Bring stats to get scrambled like a glitch. I got fire in my mouth like I came from the pit. Yeah, step in if you dare. Truth hit hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna? Sparring with Santana. I don't care what you claim or your background. Facts only, if not, get clapped down. Whether you're left or right or you don't even vote. If your logic is weak, I'll sink your boat.
Hey.
You talk slick, but you ain't got source.
Nope.
Just vibes, that ain't power, that's force.
I'm
the
not.
test, the trap, the trip, the call.
Hey.
You slip once, I'm snatching it all. Boom. Step in.
Guys, as we get back in, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart. Me, it's only one coin to boost the live. Also, can we knock out the daily info? It's the creepers. It's the creepers. We knock out the creepers.
Step in, don't you wanna sparring with Santana? Step in there, you can get hard like a punch in the air.
Ain't no
rules, no plan, no script. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna sparring with Santana?
Hey.
Yeah. This ain't a safe place.
It is not.
This is flame space.
Hey, Kobe.
Don't you wanna sparring with Santana?
Pana. Pana. Guys, welcome back. This is Sparring with Santana. One-on-one debates with Trump supporters or anyone that disagrees with anything on the background. I am Santana, and we are looking for some debates. So, if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background, get in the box. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart. Me, it's only one coin to boost the live, and keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Please, please, please. Hi, Jolly. Are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
Hey, buddy. I disagree with every single one of them stupid things you got over there.
Oh, that's
I can tell you're a liberal. I know you're a liberal. Running around crying all day.
Yeah.
Keep crying like a pussy little bitch from where you are.
Okay. Hey, guess what?
Keep bombing the hell out of them.
Guess what, Jolly? I don't like trolls, right? I know there's a lot of people on this app that may suffer fools. I'm not one, right? I don't find trolls to be funny, or I know. I don't find trolls to be funny or engaging or like fun to bring up. So yeah, I hear you. So Jolly, serious question. As an adult, right? As an adult. Okay. Like you've already gotten removed. Holy fuck. Guys, don't report. We don't do that. Like let's keep it together. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background. We're only looking for some debates. If you're friendly, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart. Me. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Yes, I'm a Trump supporter, and yes, I disagree with banning AIPAC.
Okay. So your name is Judine, or is it what's your username?
Just call me Jay.
Jay. Okay. Got it. Jay. Why do you disagree with banning AIPAC?
Because anybody should be able to give any politician money. And as long as the people vote for him, that is on the people, and everybody knows exactly how much money people get, it's all disclosed. So when people vote, it's essentially on them because they know who they're voting for, and they know they're getting money from AIPAC. And Americans have been voting for people who get money from AIPAC. So you can ban AIPAC. The only way you're going to ban AIPAC and get rid of AIPAC if you stop voting for the people who take money from AIPAC, which is a lot of people. So, I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah, I hear you. So as far as like AIPAC, right? It's a little bit misleading, and that's just because I only have a certain amount of space on the background. What I really mean is like we start with AIPAC, and then we get all money out of politics, right? We overturn Citizen United, we remove dark money from politics, and we run any politician out of town that is insistent on taking corporate donors and lobbyist money instead of actually doing the will for the people. So while AIPAC is just on the screen, it's because, a lot of people know AIPAC. They don't know a lot of these other like super PACs or,
what's
corporate
the point
lobbyists
of AIPAC,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you know the point of AIPAC?
Yeah, it's a slush fund.
No, it's a fund for politicians to get money from Israel, right? So they can put policies that are pro-Israel. It's just like, let's say you're a black man, right?
No,
you're
it's
a black man.
Wait, hold on. Stop for a second. Tell me why what you just said doesn't mean that it's a slush fund.
Can you explain to me what slush fund means?
Yeah, it's a pool of money that's used for discretionary spending to buy certain favor.
Amazing. And what politician doesn't do that?
Why is that acceptable?
Why is it acceptable? Because let's say I'm running for an election, right? And I need money, and I have certain policies. Just like, certain black people, they want reparations, right? They're going to vote for a guy. They're going to give the guy money, and he's going to put in place policies so black people get reparations, correct? So people who vote, people who give them money, essentially they're just giving them money for them to put in policies that would benefit those people. And Jews like us, we have a lot of money.
Hold on one second. Slow down for 2 seconds.
A lot of it.
Sure, that's fine. Slow down for 2 seconds. Who is
get your money
disputing?
out and stop complaining.
Listen, you're showing that you have a lack of impulse control. I need you to slow down. I know your feelings are hurt right now because I'm specifically going at AIPAC and also Israel. I don't really care about that, but what I would like for you to do is focus on what I'm saying. So, what's the problem with what you said as far as people donating money? Did I say anything about people not being able to donate money?
Anybody can donate.
Sure, but did I say anything about not allowing people to donate money?
Okay, so who's gonna donate money? A dog? Who's gonna it's people donating money?
I'm not sure if you're just not tracking, and which if it's a comprehension issue, just let me know. Wait, hold on. Hey, Jay, is it a comprehension issue? Do I need to explain it more or break it down? I'm just trying to understand where you are.
I'll ask you a clarifying question.
No. I don't want you. No. I don't want a clarifying question. I need to understand as far as what I'm saying. Do I need to actually break it down more, or can you answer the question that I had directly?
Yeah, break it down more. What do you mean by people not giving money? I mean, what do you mean by people giving money? And who else is giving money besides people? That's what my question is.
Corporations.
So exactly, corporations are people.
No, corporations are entities that represent people. I'm not talking about the representation of an entity. I'm talking about individual people. That's why I said we have to overturn Citizens United, which puts a cap on the amount of money an individual can actually donate. The point is that people have the ability to buy politicians. And when there are people buying politicians, the politicians will not do what's in the best interest of their constituents. They will do what's in the best interest of the people that put money in their pocket. And I know that you feel like that's such a great win because you're a Jewish person who actually gets the benefit of AIPAC and gets the benefit of the slush fund that's being used to send money to Israel while Israel sends money to the actual politicians. But you're the anomaly. I don't care about you and your quote unquote beliefs as far as Israel being supported by the United States government. I care about the American people and what's being done for the American people.
Amazing. So I'll tell you like this. So if you guys want to care about, if you care about the American people, I would suggest you go and tell your people in the hood to stop rolling dice and go get their money up so they can also put their money in where it actually matters. Stop buying chains and start buying real estate so they can get their money up. I mean, you guys are just focused on the wrong things while Jews are busy buying up your blocks. I mean, it is what it is, but you'll keep living.
Jay, you're crashing. Jay, you're crashing. Listen, hold on one second. I don't care about your microaggressions. I don't care. Listen, wait 1 second, Jay. I'm going to say this in all seriousness, right? I'm going to mute you because I want to be very clear when I say this. I know you just tried to engage in racism because you feel attacked, right? You see AIPAC and you see Israel and you think that I'm personally talking about you. If you're an American citizen, I'm not talking about you, right? But you feel attacked and so you want to actually lean into racism, right? And so you tried to use the microaggressions talking about the hood and dice and chains. Sure, fine. I don't even care about you trying to do that because I'm not a sensitive snowflake like you. But what I will say, Jay, What you're doing right now is literally the reason why people across this app is engaging in anti-Semitism. The reason why people are openly, blatantly, that's fine. I'm still talking. Have some impulse control. If nothing else, have impulse control. What you're doing right now is the reason why there's rampant anti-Semitism across the board. That's the reason why people like Nick Fuentes is now a voice of people, and they're weaponizing young white men to go after Jewish people, right? So while you and I can disagree, right, I'm sitting here telling you that you're harmful to Jewish people, right? And if you want to continue to engage in, I'm still speaking. If you want to engage in an actual debate, we can do that. But if you're gonna sit here and try to engage in racism because you think it's cute, I'm telling you, I will match energy. I'm trying to give you a little bit of grace, but my grace only extends so far. So I'm gonna say, don't do that again, or we can get into some gangster shit. Got it?
That's cool, bro. Absolutely.
All right.
Let me tell you one. So you just mentioned that we're being attacked by white men. Let me break something to you, Santana, brother. So in the last 5 to 10 years, you go look at the anti-Semitic incidents in New York City. Majority are done by black men, brother.
Sure. Give me proof.
You don't need proof, bro.
No. I need proof. I don't trust you. You need more people. So give me actual proof showing that the amount of anti-Semitism that has occurred within New York over the last 5 years has been perpetuated by black people. And guess what? I've heard that claim before. I've looked up that claim, and you're wrong. Now give me proof. Now give me proof. You guys are just jealous. Hey, I don't care about your fragility anymore. I don't. I need you to substantiate the things that you're saying. At this point, no one cares about your yap session. The only thing that I care about now is the substance of what you can provide. If you can't provide any substance, then I don't want to hear it. Really? Hey, question for you. What state do you currently live in?
None of your business.
So you're not actually American.
I'm Israeli American.
No, you don't live. No, you don't. No, you don't. Which state do you live in?
Well, okay, I live in Ohio.
Okay, you live in Ohio. Cool. What time is it in Ohio?
1:09.
It's 1:09. Okay, cool. Question for you. What is the capital of Ohio?
Columbus. Dude, you don't have to I live in the United States, bro.
You live in the US.
Why is this a conversation, bro?
You live in the US. Okay, cool. Just the last thing. Sent you an invite to turn on your camera.
The rent is doing the first, guys.
Yeah, shh. Don't run. Oh, you fucking coward. Not the snowflake coward running because we pulled his card. He was fucking lying. W's in the chat for Athena. I appreciate you, Athena. W's in the chat for Athena. He was fucking lying. You coward. He's such a coward.
Yeah, I just briefly came up here because I wanted to say that Israel actually supports anti-Semitism globally. Theodor Herzl, who is the father of modern-day Zionism, political Zionism, himself said, and I quote, "Anti-Semites will become our most dependable friends. The anti-Semitic countries are allies." He also said it would be an excellent idea to call in respectable, accredited anti-Semites as liquidators of property. So, when you were saying that his actions are causing the increase of anti-Semitism, he knows. And Israel knows that. They want it to increase. Why? Because the more it increases, the more unsafe it becomes for the Jewish diaspora, which a majority of Jewish people live outside of Israel, by the way. the more unsafe it becomes, the more people will have no other choice but to move to Israel, right? So, this is why Israel allies with a lot of fascistic, anti-Semitic parties. It allies with groups that basically hate Jewish people, because rising anti-Semitism actually helps Israel. So, just wanted to say that. That's why I sent you that source, by the way, from the father of Zionism. But I appreciate it. I'll go back to chat.
W's in the chat for you. I appreciate you. W's in the chat for Athena. Also, W's in the chat for Sid. What up, Sid? Who sent a $10 super chat to say for the white.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality right now.
Don't upload your videos to YouTube. Upload to Restream, where we will live stream it to YouTube and all your platforms at once. Get ready for 5 times more engagement and views. Oh, the algorithms love streams and engagement, rewarding you with even more views. While you, sure, that works, upload and stream from Restream.
With anything on the background, get in the box. We're only looking for some debates. If you are a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background, get in the box. W's in the chat for Keely, who sent a $5 donation saying, you get the wildest guests up here. I listen to you, Parker Dean, and I swear you get the craziest. Your ability to deal with them is astounding, astonishing. Yeah, like, you know what's funny, though? If I'm going to be completely honest, right? If I'm going to be completely honest with you, chat, this is the thing. They expect me to be triggered by the things that they're going to say. Like, let's be honest. When they come up here and they engage in racism, they expect me to crumble and fold because that's all they have, right? When they come up here and they slur, or they come up here and they engage in microaggressions, or they come up here and they blatantly dog whistle, they think that that's enough to make me lose it. But that's because they don't know what racism is. I keep telling them over and over and over and over and over, you don't know what racism is. You don't know what race is. You don't know what racism is. The reason why they come up here and they slur and they dog whistle and they use their microaggressions is because they don't know what race nor racism is. Because if they knew what race and racism is, they would understand that if racism was only calling the black people the N-word, if that's all racism was calling black people the N-word, we would take that every day, all day, twice on Sunday. If that's the only thing racism was the N-word? Okay. But see, this is the problem. They get triggered by people calling them names because they're sensitive. That's why people who often engage in racism also engage in other things, right? That's why you see so many Trump supporters, MAGA, things like that. They love to say liberals, You libs. You libs. They love screaming liberal, right? But then when you call them MAGA, why is it that you guys always have to put a label on something? Why do you guys want to label us all MAGA? I know you guys have been hearing that now they don't want to be labeled as MAGA, right? But then also, Sleepy Joe Biden. Let's go, Brandon. All this shit, right? But then Joe Biden said that Trump supporters were trash and they lost their shit. They lost their mind when Joseph Robinette Biden said that they were trash. They lost it. Hillary Clinton, lock her up. Lock her up. They made all the oral sex jokes. They said all they had to say about Hillary Clinton. But the fact that Hillary Clinton called them a basket full of deplorables haunts their dreams today. They wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat thinking about Hillary Clinton calling them a basket full of deplorables. That's why they get so upset. They're so sensitive. They used to say, you guys over on the left, you're snowflakes. You're snowflakes. And then we start saying, hey, you're a snowflake. Don't call me a snowflake. I'm not a snowflake. How dare you call me a snowflake? I can't believe you said I was a snowflake. Bro, that was your word. That was literally your word. That's why one of my favorite things to do is call FBA. Anytime I see someone that's FBA, I call them a tether. If you know, you know. Start calling people who are FBA tethers. Watch how they crash out. You call someone who's FBA a tether, they will lose their shit. But this is what they think racism is. They think that racism is just calling someone a name. Not white people, of course. Most white people don't even know what FBA is anyway, though. Like, white people don't know what FBA is. White people don't call them a tether. White people, that one was not for you. That was for black people. White people, my good white friends, disregard that last comment. White people don't go around calling anybody a tether. That's for the black folks. Just trust me. You gotta trust me. You gotta trust me. All right. All right. All right. Do it at your own risk. Anyway, they're so sensitive. They're so sensitive. And that's why they think anyone can be racist, right? They think that anyone can be racist because they think that racism is about hate and saying bad names. That's why they think that anyone can be racist, and that's why they think anyone can experience racism, because they think it's about hate and saying bad names. It's not. It's literally not. That's also why, and also, like, I say this all the time, and for anyone who normally watches me, you guys know, I say I'm a black man from the South, right? I spent most of my life in the South. I've only been on the West Coast since 2021. The first time someone called me the N-word that I can remember myself, howdy partner, and 3 of my friends were walking up the street. We were like 7 years old. We were walking up the street to go play basketball at a park that was close. And as we're walking up the street, 7 years old, 2 white guys in a car hanging out the window, driving past, who sees 4 black kids walking up the street with a basketball to go play basketball, leans out the car window and starts screaming the N-word, just letting it fly. But that's not the worst part. It's not the worst part. So, as we hear them screaming it, my 7-year-old self, who shouldn't have been saying the things that I said, but I did say it, I yelled back, F you. Because I had heard that word before. I didn't really, I didn't know a lot, but I knew that F you. So that's what I yelled back at them as they were slurring and driving. Now, remind you, 4 7-year-old black boys walking up the street to go play basketball in South Carolina, and 2 white men driving, hanging out the window, calling 4 black boys the N-word. And I said, F you. And they heard me. And they hit a U-turn. These 2 white men who were driving up the street, hanging out the car, slurring at 4 black boys, and I screamed, F you. They heard me and they hit a U-turn. And pulled on the sidewalk in front of us. Pulled up on the sidewalk with their car directly in front of us and started screaming, what did you say? One of my friends said, we didn't say anything. We didn't say anything. No one said anything. And these 2 grown white men who had just drove up the street slurring at 4 7-year-old black boys and decided to hit a U-turn and pull their car on the sidewalk in front of these 4 black boys walking to go play basketball, did it to intimidate them. And one of my friends was like, we didn't say anything. And they said, that's what we thought. Because they were leaning out the window, they pulled back in, backed up and left. That was my first-hand experience with racism. That was the first time I can recall actively experiencing racism. And it's gone further from that. I tell this one story often, right? When I talk about the fact that I was a victim of medical racism. See, this is why I say that if they just understood, if racism was just calling black people the N-word, we would take it. We would take it. If it was just calling us the N-word, we would take it. In 2010, I had gastric bypass surgery. It was an elective surgery. I was almost 500 pounds. And so I didn't have any medical issues, but I was like, I can't do this. And so I decided that I was going to have gastric bypass surgery. I was working a job that had good insurance, and they could pay to get the surgery, and I could take time off and all this other stuff. So 2010, I had gastric bypass surgery, and I was in South Carolina. And since I was in South Carolina, I had an old white Southern doctor. I enjoyed him. I thought he was hilarious because he reminded me of, gosh, what's his name? God damn it. What's the rooster name from Looney Tune? Foghorn Leghorn. That's who he reminded me of. Foghorn Leghorn. I say, hey boy, I say. I thought that he was, I liked him. He was an old white Southern man, surgeon. So prior to the surgery, there were things that I had to do, right? They put me on a specific diet. I had to see like a therapist. I had to get like an angel sponsor, which is someone who had been through the type of surgery so I could know what to expect and da-da-da-da-da-da. So I met all the qualifications. I planned everything out. I had my pre-op. I knew what to expect with the surgery. And I went in for the surgery. And so it's the day of the surgery. And my surgeon came in. I was like, hey, are you ready? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. All right, we're going to put you under. It's going to take X amount of time. We're going to do laparoscopic incisions. You'll be here in the hospital for a couple of days, and then you're G to G, right? So that was the expectation. So they give me the anesthesia. Side note, if you've never had anesthesia before, the sleep that I got when they pumped that anesthesia into my veins. They put me under anesthesia and said, count backwards from 100. I said 100, 99. No lie. That's how fast I was out. Anyway. So they give me the anesthesia. They said that, it's going to take this amount of time for the surgery. It's going to be a laparoscopic surgery. You're going to be in the hospital for a couple of days. You'll be able to leave and, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I go under. The surgery was successful. And I wake up. The doctor comes in. It says, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm groggy. I'm good. Everything's good. Right? So the next day, when the anesthesia was out of my system and I was a little bit more aware, my surgeon came back. It's like, okay, it's time to check your incisions. I was like, all right, cool. And since it was a laparoscopic surgery towards my sternum, they had me completely wrapped up, right? So they went through the process of unwrapping me. And I'm sitting there in so much pain, but happy that I made this life-changing decision to, take control of my life and my health. And they're unwrapping me, right? Unwrapping. They take the wrapping off. I look down, and there's an incision from the bottom of my chest all the way down to my navel. Directly from the bottom of my chest all the way down my sternum to my navel. I was like, hey doc, I'm a little confused. Why do I have this large incision? I thought it was supposed to be laparoscopic. He said, yeah. It was definitely supposed to be laparoscopic. But we went in to do the surgery. And when I started cutting, I realized that your skin was too thick. You got thick skin. And so since you had thick skin, we couldn't do it laparoscopically. Now, hindsight 2020, if I was smart, even in that moment, I would have said, hey, doc, I hear you, but like there are small incisions on the side and then there's a large incision. So if my skin was too thick for the small incision, why would you make all 4 small incisions instead of stopping at the 1? I didn't think of that. I didn't stop to say like, why didn't you stop at the 1? He made all 4 incisions and then made a decision. No, can't do it. Let's cut them all the way open. But he told me, you got thick skin. And I said, I'm a fucking superhero. Damn right I got thick skin. Damn right I got thick skin. I'm a tough you know what. That's exactly what I thought. I'm a literal superhero. One of my favorite movies was Hancock. And one of my favorite parts of Hancock was when they got ready to give Hancock, they tried to get a needle into his vein and the needle bent and they couldn't get the needle into his vein. And that's what I thought. Like, I'm fucking Hancock. Couldn't do that to him, couldn't cut me. And then I learned about medical racism. And I learned about the myth that Black people have thicker skin and less nerve endings than white people. And so the idea of me having thicker skin is not rooted in any type of medical practice or standards, is literally rooted in medical racism based off of testing that was completed on enslaved people here in the US, and which also perpetuates the additional thought process that, yeah, when Black people feel less pain. That's why when you take a look at the distribution of pain medication for Black people versus white people, Black people on typical are administered less pain medication and are listened to less than white patients, because the medical racism practice saying that Black people experience less physical pain, they have less nerve endings, and so they can endure more pain. And so there was a teaching within the medical field that said when Black people say they're in pain, if they tell you that they're at a 10, they're actually at a 7. If Black people say they're at a 7, they're actually at a 4. So if Black people are telling you, hey, nurse, I'm hurting, can I get my pain medication? Well, they just want the meds. They're not really in pain. They just want the meds. And that's medical racism. That was justification that was used during slavery to be able to beat Black people. They literally said, hey, they have less nerve endings, so it's okay if you beat your slaves. Don't feel bad, white people, because they don't feel pain the same way that you feel pain. It's a pseudoscience. And it's a pseudoscience that was passed down, literally written in medical books and taught, and people still believe it today. So, the reason why I share this story is to explain that if racism ended at just calling us the N-word, life would be sweet. Oh my God, life would be amazing.
Holy sh!
My name is Julie, and I live in Sheepshead Bay. Last year in 6th grade, something happened to me, so I ended up transferring schools. Well, I used to leave the house sometimes, not as much, but it was also because I feel like I like staying in my room, staying peace and quiet, but sometimes it will get to a point where I didn't want to come out. I was just sad all the time, crying all the time. Sometimes there's drama, sometimes it's like a normal day. Well, then my mom found Talkspace, and that's when I started, because it helps me with a lot of emotional stuff that I have going on. So to think about myself and doing what I want instead of what other people want. I've been all right going to high school and just getting prepared for freshman year of high school.
Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with anything on the background?
Play farming sim? Please.
For him to actually say that is the wildest statement. Red Devil, why aren't you coming up? Why won't you accept that request? If you, Red Devil, come up here and explain to me how I'm racist. The fact that black people, they fucking hate when black people tell them about their lived experiences. They fucking hate. Observe Crow. What'd you say? Rage bait and get what? You come up here and tell me about it. I'm gonna mute you. Rage bait activated. Come up here and tell me how that's rage bait. Come up here and tell me how that's rage bait. I sent you a request. You're not gonna come up? The fact that black people, tell me how that's rage bait.
I was saying he was rage baiting.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I thought you said I was rage baiting. I apologize.
No, I was saying he's rage baiting because he's talking in the comments and not coming up. I was saying he's rage baiting.
I'm sorry. It's friendly fire. Friendly fire. I apologize. All right, I'm gonna drop you down. Sorry.
Okay.
The fact that white people will literally say that black people telling about their lived experiences and how they have been marginalized is racism. That's crazy. Connor, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background, or did you come up to tell me that I'm racist?
I was going to ask if you could unblock my other accounts, please.
Stop coming up here. You can't be on TikTok live. You're a kid. You can't do that. Also, guys, don't block Farm Sim, kid. Hi, are you a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background?
No, but I watch you debate with Dean a lot.
I appreciate you. Guys, please only request up if you're a Trump supporter or disagree with something on the background. Guys, unblock Farm Sim Kid. No, Farm Sim Kid, stop coming up, but don't block them. But again, the fact that black people are willing to tell, like this is where we are. This is where we are. And there's a bunch of thank yous. There's a bunch of thank yous I'm gonna get to because I see your donations, guys. I see your donations. I promise you I'm gonna get to your donations and I'm gonna say thank you in just a moment. But I don't want to lose the train of thought. When black people start to talk about the racism that we've experienced and the way that there's racial inequalities, we're told that we're being victims. We're told that we won't just grab our bootstraps and start pulling. We're told that everyone's equal. What can a white man do that a black man can't do? We're told that our experiences aren't real. We're making it up. You just want to complain. Said 10,000% the victim? Oh, okay. Come up here and tell me about it. I'm going to send you a request. I'm muting you. Come up here and tell me how 10,000% the victim.
I'm friendly. I was agreeing.
Oh, dang it. Sorry.
No, sorry. No, I know
better
you're
stop.
I know you're on a roll. You're looking for these people, but like, sorry,
Well,
I'm friendly. I was agreeing.
No, all good. I saw that. I'm sorry. I saw that and I was like, oh, you're sitting there. I'm not even necessarily looking for him, but I just saw the comment. I was like, oh, okay. I apologize. I'm going to stop. But the point that I'm making is we're told that like it's us. And if we work harder and if we educate ourselves and if we stop leaving our children, then we can actually make it in the US. If we work harder, Juneteenth, the official point where all Black people were officially freed. On Juneteenth, the wealth disparity within the US was 60-1. Meaning, for every $1 that Black people had, white people had 60. That was the ratio for wealth. 166 years later, that same wealth gap is now 7-1. For every $1 Black people have, white people have 7. Within a span of 166 years, we were able to shrink the wealth gap from 60-1 to 7-1. Now, please don't forget that after the end of slavery, we went through reclamation, Jim Crow, Black codes, segregation. Hell, it's been about 60 some odd years since Black people haven't officially been looked at as less than by the law. And you're telling me that in 166 years, we've been able to decrease the wealth gap from 60-1 to 7-1, but Black people aren't working hard. Well, I guess that whole working thing is out the door. Oh, educate yourself. Education is the key. If you educate yourself, then you got to stop being victims and go get an education. Black women are the most educated group in America today. While Black women have one of the lowest percentiles as far as college acceptance and representation, they have the highest percentile of obtaining graduate degrees, while at the same time, the highest percentile that moves on to post-secondary degrees, master degrees, doctorals. And while being the most educated group in America, Under the first year of Donald Trump's second administration, 400,000 Black women lost their jobs. You know who didn't lose their jobs? Who actually improved under Donald Trump's first year? Because the unemployment rate went up. Guys, the unemployment rate went up under Donald Trump's first year, except for white men. White men actually gained under Donald Trump's first year in office. Everybody else took a loss. Black women shouldered the majority of the loss. White men made a gain. So it can't be about education. Can't be about education because Black women are fucking crushing it. So the financial part is out. The education part is out. Oh, you know what? Nuclear family. You guys got to stop leaving your kids. Got to stop leaving your kids. If you guys participated more in your kid's life and you engage more in the nuclear family, then you Blacks will be all right. Well, according to Pew Research, Black men are the most active participants of any men in their children's life. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? That means, while Black men and Black women might not be classified in the nuclear household, meaning married, Black men participate in that household more than any other race. Whether it's feeding their kids, taking them to school, showing up to sporting events, reading them bedtime stories, actively participating to ensure that their kids are being taken care of. They're just not married at the same rate as other races. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather have an active father in the household than just a married father in the household. And it's not just me. It's not just me. The reason why the nuclear family is a myth is because people try to push the idea that the two-parent household is vital. It's critical. It's not. It's not. Studies have shown that if you take a look at the actual key indicator for a successful home, user, are you a Trump supporter? Disagree with something on the background and just came up to call me racist?
I'm disagreeing with the fact that you say that the nuclear family isn't vital for
Okay, cool. How about I land this plane and then you see if you change your mind?
Go ahead.
The biggest indicator that leads to success and stability in children is not having two parents in the household. It's the amount of money in the household. Studies find that parents that have the ability to financially provide at a higher clip breed an environment for children to be happier and successful. Also, people say, whoa, two-parent household, traditions, men and women. Hey, there's also a complete study that showed that children of non-heterosexual relationships are happier and more successful than children in heterosexual households. Studies find that if your parents are gay, you're more likely to be happier and successful. If you got queer parents, you're more likely to be happy and successful. So the idea that the nuclear household is necessary is just a white supremacy talking point that is perpetuated by the fact that men need to be the head of the household. It upholds the patriarchal system. It upholds whiteness, and it disenfranchises people who don't actively participate in the quote unquote nuclear household, i.e. Black people may not actually be married at the clip as white people, but they participate more in the household than white people. So that's why the nuclear family is a myth. User, you want to tell me why I'm wrong about the nuclear family being a myth? Go for it.
Well, if you look at the crime rates of the Black population in the country.
Oh, this is fun.
I mean, they make up what, 13% of the population and commit.
And then how much of the crime?
50 something percent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the amount of
wait, no, don't go too far. Don't go too far. Where'd you get that from?
I mean, the statistics.
Did you hear it, or did you actually do you actually know
I
about
did my
it?
research on it. I mean,
You did your research? I'm so glad that you did your research on it. Tell me a little bit more about it.
I mean,
hold on. No. Don't go too far. Don't go too far. Okay. So you did your research, right?
Correct.
User, is that accurate? Okay. All right. You did your research. Good. Question. I'm going to put something on the screen for you, and I want you to tell me if this is where you were doing your research. And when I put this on the screen, I'm actually going to give you a few minutes to take a look at it, because I got to say a couple of thank yous if you don't mind, because I'm like way far behind. I apologize. I've been yapping. All right, so I'm going to put this on the screen, and I'm going to give you a minute to look at it. All right, can you see it okay, or let me make it a little bit bigger. This is what you're looking at?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Dang it, why can't I go over to I can't scroll over to the other side. Dang it, hold on. Why is it doing that? All right. Yeah, this is what you're looking at here. All right. Perfect. All right. Cool. All right, give me 2 seconds. Let me say thank you to a couple of people really quickly. Guys. Let's start with YouTube. W's in the chat for Steph for the $1.99 super chat to say Trump make Biden look like Einstein. Exactly. W's in the chat for Wesley for the $10 super chat to say I was unaware of medical racism until I joined the army. I saw a black man limping the way through the day and getting no help while I got other stuff for kidney stones. Exactly. W's in the chat for Is Kelly for becoming a YouTube member. W's in the chat for Kelly. W's in the chat for Flex for the $10 donation saying, thanks for helping change my perspective on life. Flex, that's awesome. W's in the chat for you. W's in the chat for Mike for the $2 donation. Santana, MAGA cope so hard. They're effing suck harder than Hoover. Exactly. W's in the chat for Dylan for the $1 donation saying, seems like I was the only respectable person debater today. Ha ha ha. Have a great day, brother. Thank you for what you do. I don't know who was. Oh, yeah. I got it. Yeah, you were. Hey, user, don't stay out of the app for too long. If you stay out for too long, it'll actually drop you. I don't want to drop you. You got to come back in every once in a while. That was in chat for Keely for the $5 donation saying, have to donate again as you were talking about how MAGA doesn't understand racism being more than just words. To tell you that I told my fiance about the fact that you stated about the pulse oximeter not working effectively on black skin, and he was shocked. Everything stems from racism. Yeah, like we didn't even talk about the pulse oximeter. That was in the chat for Shawana, who sent a $5 donation saying, I just wanted to say the same thing happened to me, a black woman during surgery. for ectopic pregnancy. It was a shit show. You're amazing. Yeah, listen, if we start talking about black women, holy fuck. Yeah. W's in the chat for Julia for the $2 donation. Saying, I'm Puerto Rican, and my first racist situation was when my dad was driving home at the age of 16, and I was at the age of 16 in Chino, California in 2007. Cops stopped us, claiming that we fit the description and threatened to unalive us, calling us suspects in the N-word. No, calling us, holy smokes, I'm not going to say that word. And the N-word, and we were just going home. I get it. Thank you for everything that you do. Yeah, listen, we didn't talk about the veil of darkness. That's another thing. W's in the chat for Marie for the $1 donation, saying families that don't have to worry about money are more likely to have the time to spend with kids. Working the 3 jobs to survive, you literally means you don't have time. Exactly, Marie. W's in the chat for CD for the $3 donation, saying you're absolutely right. The reason kids of gay couples tend to face better fare better is because the way that gay kids family have super expensive it's super expensive, such as IVF and adoption, so they often have higher disposable money. Yeah. And W's in the chat for Israel for the $1 donation, saying what's up. W's in the chat. Guys, if anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links, and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Keep tapping the screen. Okay, sorry, user. So you were telling me about how black people make up 13% of the population and 55% of the crime, right? Or 50% of the crime or something like that, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there, like 51.
Okay. So, and you got this from the FBI crime data, right? And this is information from the FBI crime data, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. First thing I want to call out, if we scroll to the top, what does that say? What year is that?
2019.
What year is it currently?
2026.
So, did you know that the FBI publishes their crime data every year?
I did not.
Yeah, we got updated data that's published every year. But let's stick here for a second, right? So,
but don't I see that the arrests made for white people are higher, but I'm wondering
where do you see that? Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
coming down here.
Top in the total.
Wait.
Is that I'm wondering if it's
you jumped the shark. You jumped the shark, but all good. Down here, overview. Read this for me. Let me make it a little smaller. Sorry.
You make it a little bigger.
Yeah, for some reason it's not like it won't let me scroll left and right for some crazy reason. Give me a second. Let me see. Let's do this. Yeah, see, it won't let me scroll left and right. It's okay. In 2019, let me just go here. Yeah. In 2019, 69.4% of all individuals arrested were white, 26.6% were black or African American, and 4% were others. Right? So it talks about the arrest rate as far as the percentage of people that were arrested. So,
welcome to Alteryx One, a self-service analytics platform that makes it easy to automate analytics at scale and enable better decisions across all of your critical business functions. Prep and blend your data, build robust machine learning models, and let our AI engine discover and explain new insights faster, all directly through your web browser. The best part? Alteryx meets you where you are, whether on-prem or in the cloud, with support for all major cloud hosting platforms, coupled with local regional hosting across all major regions. Integrations with a wide variety of data connectors allow you to access all of your data anytime, anywhere. And regardless of your environment, Alteryx provides enterprise-grade scalability and security. See for yourself today.
Welcome to Wix Harmony. Take the speed of AI and pixel level control go from words into a full website that's entirely yours to shape. Need a new page, section, or a restyle? Ask Aria, your personal AI agent. And boom, there it is. Flow naturally between generating and doing it yourself. This is the new way to create Wix Harmony.
Since you can't see it, it talks about the actual general comments, the methodology, the population estimation, and all this other stuff, right? So one, it calls out that this data was data that was estimated for 2019, not the actual data, but it was the estimated, right? And it was based off of stuff that was done in 2011 to 2018. So the data is actually older than what you actually know. But something something that you want to make sure that you look at is the general comments. This table provides the number of persons arrested nationwide in 2019, broken down by race and ethnicity and arrestee. In addition, the table shows that the percentage distribution of arrests by race and ethnicity for each offense. The table also furnishes a breakdown of this data by juveniles. The totals provided in this table reflects only the persons arrested by the law enforcement agency that provides race information to the UCR program. Therefore, the totals may not match those shown in other arrest table information. Hey, what does that mean? Hey, user, what does that mean?
You read that again?
Sure. The totals provided in this table reflects only the persons arrested by law enforcement agencies that provided race information to the UCR program. Therefore, the total may not match those shown in other arrest tables for the nation. What does that mean?
They're not accurate numbers.
Yeah. Yep. The next one says, these data represent the number of persons arrested. However, some people may be arrested more than once during a year. Therefore, the statistics in this table could, in some cases, represent multiple arrests of the same person. Hey, what does that mean? Hey, user, what does that sentence mean?
Can you repeat it again?
Sure. The data that represent the data represented in the number of persons arrested. I'm sorry. These data represent the number of the persons arrested. However, some people may be arrested more than once during a year. Therefore, the statistics in this table could, in some cases, represent multiple arrests of the same people or persons.
Okay, I see.
What does that mean?
I mean, it means what it says, right? But like I said,
wait, hold on. So does that mean that they're double counting people?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay, so they're double counting people. That sounds like it would be a problem, right?
I guess, yeah.
Right. So, like, if we're relying on data that's
but I mean, nobody's getting arrested 500,000 times a year. You know what I mean?
How do you know? And who said anything about 500,000? But again, the question is, right? We haven't even gotten to the biggest flaw with this information that you're using, because we've already established that you're talking about a table 43, that was published in 2019, right? 7 years ago, and they update the crime data every year. But we talk about the fact that it's only based off of the reported data, meaning it's not all the crimes. And even within that reported data, it's only based off of those areas that report race in their data, because not all agencies report race with their data. So the data is limited. And number three, they don't say that, hey, user committed this crime and Santana committed this crime. Since they committed the crime once, we're only going to track the crime for each individual person once. They're going to say user's white, Santana's black. For each time user commits a crime, we're going to count that once. But every time Santana commits a crime, we're going to count that once. And it doesn't account for people committing multiple crimes. So
who gets arrested more per capita?
White people.
White people.
White people.
And how,
the answer. Listen, hold on. Let me give you this.
Let
me give you this.
Population between
let me give you this. People. Let me give you this. It's white people. Literally the answer that you're looking for, it's white people. Whether you talk about the people that perpetuate the most amount of crime based off of crime data, based off the FBI crime data, there's an actual repository that you can go in that you can filter out. And if you talk about violent crime, not all crime, that would be very disingenuous of me to pretend like it's all crime, but violent crime, white men lead in every statistical category of violent crime. Now, property crime, that's a different story, but violent crime is white men. But let me give you this last nugget.
51% of arrests in like murder.
Say it again.
51% of murder charges for black people.
You didn't even listen to what I just fucking said, did you? But that's fine. Hold on to that statistic. Hold on to that statistic. I want you to hold on to that. Right? User, do your Googles. Go look up what's the exoneration rate for black people. Go look that one up. While he's doing that, I want to say thank you to a couple of people. W's in the chat for Deb for the $4.99 super chat to say the Innocent Project. I'm not going to read that one out, Deb, because you're about to give away the answer. W's in the chat for Deb for the $4.99 super chat, who was literally on it. W's in the chat for Ashley for the $5 donation saying, queer mama of 2 thriving and happy boys. Thank you, Santana. Love you much. I love you way more. I love you way more, Ashley. Debbie's in the chat for Kimberly, who sent a $10 donation saying, what I don't understand is that people don't do enough research into surgeons. A black woman surgeon is more educated and highly intelligent, while white men surgeon, or more than white men surgeon, they score better than in every single test. Exactly. W's in the chat for Good, who sent a $5 donation saying, sorry, I can't donate more. Stop it, Good. You're awesome. A bit tight, this paycheck. I'm in the AD military person who said, I love the talking points about military policy versus discussion. My Discord is CBug. I sent a friend request. Keep it up. Oh, yeah, I'll check that. Thank you. Debbie's in the chat for Samuel for the $5 donation. Guys, stop saying wish you could donate more. I fucking love you. Seriously. Like, everything is super appreciated. Like, things are tough. Anything that you guys donate, it means the world to me. You never have to say that. I love you guys to the fucking moon and back. As a trans white man, I've experienced the difference in the way that I have been treated and privilege. I have been given a sense of transitioning. I've also seen that medical discrimination my girlfriend as a black woman has been through. Oh, that's a cool B. Has been through, makes me sick. We need to change. I completely agree. W's in the chat for Crystal for the $1 donation saying, 8-year-old with the, an 8-year-old with a truck full of white men. Oh, holy shit. 8-year-old with the trunk full of white men tried to hit you. Holy shit. That's crazy. W's in the chat for all the donos, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Guys, 1.8 thousand people hanging out here. If you look up at the top and you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. We only got nine new followers on the stream. I am positive that there's more than 9 people watching out of the 1.8 thousand that have not followed me yet. Hit that follow button. We're trying to get to 100,000 followers. Also, if you're over on YouTube, give the VOD a thumbs up, but hit that follower. We're so close to 20,000 over on YouTube. Follow me everywhere. All right. Hey, did you find that exoneration rate for black people?
Yeah.
What's the exoneration rate?
I think it was like 60-something%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's high, right?
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that the statistics that you're talking about, right? and the statistics for the FBI crime table only account for arrests, but not exonerations?
I did not know that, no.
Yeah. So literally the data that you are interpreted or reading off it's old, right? Because it's 2019. It's inaccurate in multiple ways, but also number three, it doesn't account for one thing that overwhelmingly impacts Black people, which is exoneration. And the fact is that Black people are over policed and highly arrested, but exonerated at a massive clip, which speaks to the fact that while Black people are being attributed for committing crime, they're not talking about the fact that actually Black people aren't the ones really doing the crime because they're being exonerated. So, user, that would kind of actually skew your premise as far as, Black people being such a small part in doing all the crime.
So can you explain why they have 64 to 67% of households?
Folks,
are
I'd like to sing a song about the American dream.
Yeah, I explained that earlier. Black people don't get married that much. Hey, did you hear me also telling about who's the most
leading population in STDs and all that?
About that special feeling.
Medical racism? That's fine. I've talked about that as well. But stop trying to actually skate away from it. You made a point. You said, why is it that Black people don't get married? I said or why is it that? Hold on. Stop. User, stop. You're running because you know that you got cooked. Don't do that. Come on now. I'm answering your question. Listen, user. We literally just went through how your entire premise was full of shit. And now you're having an amygdala response and you're crashing because everything that you thought is not true. Like, come on, be better. Now let me finish what I was saying. The reason why the single parent household is higher is because Black people don't get married at the clip as white people. But I was just telling about how with the Pew Center research and the CDC completed a study showing that Black men are the most active race of men in their children's lives. Howdy, partner. What does that mean, user? That means that even though these Black people aren't getting married, those Black men are taking care of their kids at a higher and more proficient clip than anyone else. Not him running! He ran! He fucking ran! Hide a partner. Fucking hide a partner. One of my favorite things to do is dog walk a mediocre white man with white supremacy talking points.
You think racism only evolves around Black people, pretty much?
No, racism revolves around white people.
No, like when it happens, like the action, like when only Black people can experience racism.
Yeah,
that's pretty much you're trying to say, right?
How about this, Bush? What's race?
Race, certain group of people, like Black, Asians, African Americans, white men. But
no, those are categories. Those are categories of race. But what's race?
Racism, like that exact definition.
A general definition. I want to have your understanding of what race is.
What are you doing, dude?
They put the pretty crown on me. So anyway, what's your general definition of race?
Well, I'll give you what I think race is. I mean, race is certain groups of people. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Race is a social construct that's based off of phenotypical characteristics. It was created for the othering of non-white people to create a free and cheap labor class.
Okay. That's your opinion on it, or that's what y'all said?
No. That's how to partner. That's literally what it is. Who created race?
I couldn't say who exactly created race, but
I can.
Or you think who could?
Gomez de Zurara.
Elaborate more, please.
Sure. Gomez de Zurara was a Portuguese man who was a chronicler for Prince Henry the Navigator. He was someone that actually wanted to get justification for chattel slavery. You know what chattel slavery is?
No, sir.
Okay. Chattel slavery was the practice of stealing Black people from Africa and then taking them through different places throughout the world to then enslave them, and not only enslave them, but to enslave their children and their children's children, and so on and so on. It was servitude with no possibility of ever being free. And chattel slavery here in the U.S. got to the point where they could no longer go and steal Black people from Africa anymore. So they created breeding grounds within the country to actually make their own slaves. So they literally bred Black people to be able to continue slavery.
You mind if I ask you something? Do you like? How would I put this in sentence? Give me a sec.
It would be cool if I could finish my whole thing, though. But sure, go ahead.
Oh, my bad, man.
Yeah. So Gomez de Zurara wanted to engage in chattel slavery, and so he went to the Catholic Church and told them that he had met this group of people, Black people, and they were of the lower hemisphere. He said that they were animalistic, hypersexual, and they needed to be civilized. And so from that point, the Catholic Church published 2 papal bulls. I think one was in 1457 and one was in 1444 or 45, and then one was in 57. But anyway, they published 2 papal bulls justifying that, yes, all countries that fall under the Catholic Church could engage in chattel slavery because these people were less than. And so that was the creation of race where they were categorized. And so then white people got their free and cheap labor class and started engaging in chattel slavery.
That's interesting. I might have to do a little research on that a little later.
Yeah, you should go read those papal bulls. You can find them and you can actually read those papal bulls.
Okay, is it like a certain site or you just look it up?
You can go look it up.
All right, I'll do that after this. But I wanted to ask you, there was this, I heard I think I read an article. I don't know the exact article, but I was doing some research on history. There were Black people sold their own into slavery. Do you agree with that or no?
Show me an invoice.
Sir?
Show me an invoice.
Can I send you a link or something?
No, you can just tell me where can I find an invoice.
Yeah, I said I couldn't find it exactly where, because I remember doing research on this and a little while back. Yeah, some Black people sold their own into slavery for goods and stuff.
The answer is going to be that you can't find an invoice. Literally, you can't find an invoice. You know what's funny about chattel slavery? And we was just talking about the papal bulls and how they wrote down, and you can still see that today as far as the justification of why the Catholic Church said that you could do chattel slavery. These people that did this shit wrote everything down. Hey, Bush, they wrote it all down. They wrote down not only the justification and the places that they went and the people that they got, they wrote it all down. But for some reason, they didn't get an invoice for being sold to Black people. That seems a little weird, right?
Yep.
Also, hey, Bush, got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Let's say you seem like a man of a certain elegance. Let's say you got a Rolex on, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
And you spent $20K on your Rolex. And I come up to you and I say, Bush, I like that Rolex. Let me buy it for $5. You're like, you must be out your rabbit mind. I spent $20K on this Rolex. You're not getting this. And I pull out the banger, right? I pull out the ratchet and say, I said, let me buy that for $5. And Bush, you say, you know what? I was going to sell this for $5. Hey, Bush, were you a willing participant in the sale of your Rolex?
No, sir.
So if colonizers showed up to Africa with weapons and held Black people at gunpoint and said, hey, sell us these people, and they gave them the people, were they willing participants in the slave trade?
Probably not. Definitely
That
not.
happened a lot. That's also written down too. Like they wrote all the shit down.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, when you put it that way, it makes some sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did want to argue the remove white man from power on your prompt.
Sure.
Why would you want to remove white man from power?
Because shit's fucked up right now. Like it's rough.
What benefits would removing white men from power do for everybody?
Yeah, it would stop the war. So when it comes to white men being in power, the reason why I say there's a couple of different things, right? First and foremost, the war was initiated by a white Jewish man who has wanted to go to war with everyone. It was carried out by a white orange man who actually has dirt on him and was willing to like do anything to keep the files from coming out. And it is being propped up by a drunk white man who should be still a TV personality instead of the head of the Department of Defense. But so those white men have been the ones that have been propagating this war. But when you talk about the actual history of the country and you talk about the amount of harm that's been carried out over the 250-year history of our country, 90% of all men in power, including House, Senate, and the presidency, has been comprised of white men, right?
Okay.
And while white men have, throughout the history of our country, passed legislation that at sometimes help people, they overwhelmingly have passed legislation that has marginalized and harmed anyone that's not a white man. So the point that I'm getting to today is that while there have been some white men throughout history that have actually done some good things, hell, even racists like LBJ Lyndon Baines Johnson, who have done things that has even been beneficial to Black people. Overwhelmingly, the guidance of white men throughout the history of our country has disenfranchised so many different people that it's brought us to the brink of a country collapsing and a war that we shouldn't be in.
So I want to make sure I'm reading you correct. When you say remove white men from power, are you saying remove all white men from power and make it more diverse in leadership?
Yeah.
Or are you saying just remove like certain white men from power? Which one?
All white men. It's all white men till it's no white men.
I mean, I see why you would agree to, remove all white men, but this country was built by white men.
It wasn't.
The Irishmen, the Irish and everybody that came over.
Hey, Bush.
Yes, sir.
How long have Irish people been white men? Or I'm sorry, how long has Irish been considered white?
I'm not sure that exact number, but I know a couple of Irish men that are white. But I mean, you could be Black and Irish, so.
Well, yeah, but Irish people started classifying Irish people as white in the mid 19th century, in 1840s, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So Irish people were in the country prior to that point, and they, like, quote unquote, built the country prior to that. Did you know that one of the trade-offs that they received was white privilege?
That was one of the trade-offs?
Yeah. I mean, access to whiteness was their trade-off.
Okay.
So, yeah, for them, quote unquote, building this country, they got white privilege, which is a lot. But hey, you know what's so funny about like building this country?
What's that?
And you know what Turtle Island is?
No, sir.
Turtle Island was the Americas prior to colonization. indigenous people were here.
Oh, so the indigenous, yeah.
Indigenous, yeah. Hey, did you know that colonizers came from Europe and they were on death's door? They were heading to the upper room. Did you know that? You ever heard of upper room?
Yeah.
The upper room with Jesus. They were on their way to the upper room. And the only reason that they made it was because the kindness of indigenous people on Turtle Island. Like literally, the indigenous people here took them in, fed them, nursed them back from death, and then the colonizers turned around and killed so many indigenous people that it literally cooled the temperature of the earth.
Yeah, and that's something I don't agree with right there. But you can't deny that it didn't happen.
Yeah, they killed so. But wait, did you get what I'm saying though? Right? Like it was hot. It was hot, and so they killed so many people that it made it cold.
Yeah.
Like not just like inside a house or some shit, like the entire earth. It cooled. They killed so many indigenous people that it cooled the temperature of the earth.
That's crazy.
But after they did that, right? After they did that to indigenous people. Hey, you remember me telling you about chattel slavery?
Yes, sir.
They did that shit. They brought black people here, and for 400 some odd years, black people worked for free. Like literally for free. Like literally worked and built this country for free. And once black people fought and took their freedom, they started, did you know they never called black people lazy until black people stopped working for free? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's when they started calling black people lazy. When black people were no longer slaves working for free, that's when black people started being considered.
I'll tell you guys about Typeless, a smart voice keyboard that turns your speech into perfect writing in every app. It translates the message, it gets rid of all the filler words, and restructures your sentence. Removes filler words, restructures your sentences, and makes typing 4 times faster. I'm messaging you on Typeless, which is available on iOS and Android, as well as Mac and Windows. Yeah. And thanks to Typeless, you'll see that I say a lot of filler words. And see, all the ums and everything is gone. Wow, I really did. Scan this QR code to never type again using Typeless.
I tried a ton of AI work tools. Then I tried Monday.com. Game over. Monday.com is super easy to use and knows how to do AI right. I use it for insights and action suggestions constantly, especially on those back-to-back meeting days. And my team used Monday Sidekick to work up all kinds of marketing content for the different platforms. So stuff that takes my team hours is now done before they even open their laptop. All these AI features are built directly into Monday.com and actually use our real data. With Monday.com, AI isn't some over-promising future. It's here. It just works. Like, actually saves us time and resources kind of works.
Monday Sidekick, AI you'll love to use. Start a free trial today at Monday.com.
Did you know the reason why loitering was created is over the last 30 years by $14.7 trillion with the T trillion dollars, and undocumented immigrants alone has reduced the United States deficit by 1.47 trillion, meaning that like not only do these undocumented immigrants that come from these southern countries prop up all these vital industries for us, but they are literally single-handedly fighting the United States debt.
Yes, I've actually heard of that. I heard those arguments plenty of times people bring, and yeah, it's true.
The point that I'm making is that like white men didn't build this country. They literally colonized, victimized, and like exploited everyone else.
Yeah, but I mean, this is how I see it, and I respect you because I actually respect you. You actually made me kind of go away from the Republican Party a little bit. Actually, watching you some more. I didn't really go to the Democrat side. Kind of went independent.
That's
looking at some
everybody should be. Like, seriously, I think like being independent is if you're a true independent, that's a strong factor because like you should actually lean towards whatever party is going to do what's best for the whole of the people. And fun fact about that, while I don't agree with either parties, I vote Democrat because they do more progressive stuff than the Republican Party, even though neither one of them really do too much of shit.
Yeah, and I think it's a big problem that Americans are relying too much on these two corrupt parties that's been in power for years. I believe independent should be. I think people don't go vote independent because they think their vote won't count. Pretty much because these two powerful. Yeah, and I mean it is true. It won't count, and I believe people should stop using that mindset and actually try to like mass vote independent. Because honestly,
well, you know what the issue with that is though, because like. While if we had a viable third party candidate, that would be cool. But what happens if, let's say, the cicada, Jill Stein, you know who she is?
Yeah, I've heard of her.
You know what a cicada is?
No, sir.
It's like a bug that like buries itself on the ground and then it comes out every couple of years.
That annoying.
Jill Stein is a cicada. She that's why nowhere to be found right now. But during election season, she's here. Right. But I digress. Let's say Jill Stein actually won the 2024 presidential election. Right.
Yeah.
And everything else stays the same. Who has control of the House?
I'm not sure.
Republicans. Who has control
because
of
it was
the Senate?
the majority of Republicans were in charge. Yeah.
The problem is that people like Jill Stein or the Green Party haven't tried to go through the necessary processes of establishing local and state level government. They haven't integrated into lower levels and grassroots of government. They haven't cultivated a base that would make it viable, that not only would allow them to get elected on a state level, but when they get into power, you have to have party members within Congress. And there's no Green Party member of Congress. And so they don't have the ability to caucus and get any type of legislation that they actually want passed. So presidents are just figureheads in a lot of different ways. And normally the power of the purse lies with Congress. Now, this Congress has superseded that and decided that they're going to give all the power to the executive branch, but literally it's not supposed to be that way. But again, the problem is that even if a third party candidate did win the presidency, they wouldn't have any type of backing from the rest of Congress to be able to do the things they want to do.
Probably would go against them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'll be a bunch of executive orders challenged in court, a bunch of nothing happening. So it'll be pointless.
Yeah. How would you think that process of trying to get a third party into power and all of the different. Yeah, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to take some years too.
Yeah, but they the fucking wild thing is the Green Party isn't new, but they just jumped the line. It's I want to be president instead of actually doing the fucking work.
Yeah, and I've been trying to dig deeper into the independent party. Trying to learn more about this since I disagree with Republicans and Democrats because Republicans they're liars. And Democrats, sometimes they're liars, and sometimes on both sides, and I don't agree with it, And it's
both a bunch of liars.
Yeah, so it's no good for American people because I feel like these two parties divide us so much that we need a party that actually brings us together because they call us the United States, but with these two parties are in charge, we're ununited.
You know what we need?
What?
We need a new constitution.
That's gonna be impossible, but I agree.
Yeah, so when the Constitution was written, it was written for white men that own land, and then after that, everyone else has been given their actual rights. And the issue with that is that like the rights of the people have been infringed on, taken away, like litigated. It's been a whole thing. And so like all Americans aren't created equal, even though they try to perpetuate that lie. And even Thomas Jefferson, right, one of the founding fathers, father of racism, but one of the founding fathers said that the laws that are written in the Constitution shouldn't govern people of the future, right? Understanding that there's a need for new constitutions. He said every 19 years, but like I want to say that like 19 years in that time is probably like 50 years because, you know, they were dying early and shit. But like the idea that the Constitution, one, it wasn't written for everyone, which is fucking wild. But then also two, the fact that it doesn't fit the time that we live in, right? They wrote the Constitution where people were riding horses and shooting muskets, and now we got Bugattis and like, you know, machine guns and shit. So like it's a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it should be updated. I agree with some of the stuff that's still in the Constitution. I think it just needs to be add-ons and takeoffs. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Have we not been doing that?
I mean, we kind of, but you know, it's not in our favor, not in people's favor.
Bush, what's the definition of insanity?
Insanity?
Yeah.
Like some crazy person or something? Like
no,
what do you mean?
Doing
Insanity?
the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Oh my bad. I thought you said insanity. My bad.
Insanity.
All right.
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And we have been adding amendments and articles and
I mean, it's not helping nobody. And this is the part that I like. I see why people vote like Democrats. You know, based on what Trump is doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a far right guy, but I've been slowly, you know, dipping my feet in the water, trying to understand both sides now, and not trying to be biased to anybody. And I you know, I was a full on Republican conservative, and then I voted. Then you know, I started seeing American soldiers die, you know, and then or unalive. Sorry.
Hey, did you know? No, you're good. Did you know they're hiding the numbers?
Yeah, I know. I figured they are hiding
fucking crazy
because it's the numbers are climbing. You know, randomly, we got soldiers returning home, and then like, oh, another soldier confirmed unalive here, and I'm like, what is this? Because like, I'm at the perfect age to be sent off to war, and I'm like,
ooh,
you know,
listen. So before I started my live, I wanted to put a video out, but I didn't get to finish editing. How old are you?
I just turned 20.
You just turned 20?
Yep.
Okay. I'll play the sound for the beginning of my video because I haven't finished editing it. I want you to hear this. Chat, would you guys like a sneak peek to the video that I'm going to be publishing today? Would anybody else like to hear a quick snippet from the video that I'm going to be putting out today? Yeah? All right. I got you. If you're 18 to 25 years old, congratulations, you are now officially eligible for World War III. And if you're someone that voted for Donald Jimothy Trump, you're a MAGA 18 to 25, guess what?
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
So the reason why I say that is because a couple of different things, including the fact that Congress just passed legislation saying that if you are now 18 to 25 years old, you no longer have to register for the draft. You are automatically auto-enrolled into the draft. And even more than that,
goes against our rights.
They passed it. They already passed it. It's already happening, Bub. Like they're auto-enrolling you into the draft. And then this is the crazy part. They're now talking about whether or not they need to restart the draft. Like literally the Trump administration has been talking about what it would look like to be able to restart the draft.
Yeah, and I refuse to fight for rich white men. I'm gonna be honest with you, I refuse to fight for rich white men. So I'm gonna, you know, I got a dual citizenship in Norway, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if ever trying to be, I don't want to seem like a coward to my country because I love the United States, you know? But, you know, I would refuse to fight for people who just sit there in the comfort of, you know, their little comfy cushion chair and just get to command a young man to go fight, you know? young men and women.
It's always old men wanting young men to fight their wars. Like, that's how it works. It's fucking insane. And for people in the comments saying like, I see you guys got a lot of questions. Sorry, I was hoping to have that video out before I went live this morning, but I didn't get to finish editing it. I promise you, just hang tight. When I post the video today, it'll have all the answers to the questions in it. It's a doozy. But I actually cite my sources and tell you where I got the information from and blah, 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 blah. It's a doozy.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been actually, that when they were promoting St. Barron Trump fight, yeah, if Trump sends him, I'll fight. Trump sends his son, I'll fight. That's how it goes.
You think Captain Bone Spurs is going to send his son to war?
Of course not. But if he sends him, that's the only. If he shows that he got some guts enough to send his own son, then I know that it's for the people. Well, not really for the people, but if you send your own son, but I know he ain't going to do that. So it's like, why would I fight? It makes no sense, and it's embarrassing. Plus, we're fighting a war that we don't even need to fight.
Yeah, that's war that's Israel's war.
Yeah, and then Israel, I don't see any Israeli soldiers, being sent off with us, like they the ones that pretty much went off to do this without telling the allies that, hey, I'm about to go strike this country,
Yeah.
It was just the U.S. and Israel.
You know what's crazy? So what is it? Hold on. How many? 1 second here. One second. So Trump sent 25,000 Marines. 25,000. I'm sorry, not 25,000. 2,500. Holy shit! Not 25,000. 2,500 Marines to the Strait of Hormuz, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's also they're also sending an additional 50,000 American troops. Or I'm sorry, there's already 50,000 American troops in the area, right? And
yes,
now there's reported allegations that they're looking to go boots on ground, right? They're looking to actually send troops into Iran. They did an actual interview with leadership from Iran, and the reporter said, hey, there's reports that the Trump administration is looking to actually deploy Marines into Iran. And the leadership looked right down the barrel of the camera and said, okay, we're waiting.
I mean,
and that was
it. What gets me is that we're not fighting, in our Afghanistan again. We're not fighting over there. We're not fighting these untrained guys. We're facing our military. These guys are somewhat organized. They have
it's not
military
just that,
missions.
like, the issue with Iran is their environment, right? That was one of the reasons, or one of the issues we had with Afghanistan. But like, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I looked this up. I think like every area of Iran, like every entry point is surrounded by like waterways and mountains. Like it's some of the roughest terrains to be in. And so like attacking them is damn near impossible. Exactly. Yeah. So
and it just amazes me how he goes from no wars at all, and Biden's going to start a war, or Kamala, when she gets into power, she's going to start a war versus Trump going, hey, guess what? Young man, get ready. Time to go to war. It makes no sense. Yep. It really irritates me because I did not get what I voted for, and it's embarrassing for me. Now I feel embarrassed.
Hey, what did you actually vote for?
I voted for, I have an iffy type of thing about the borders and stuff. I wanted, and and trust me, I'm not trying to say that I'm fully against immigrants coming to this country, but I believe I believe it should be easier for people to come here, become a citizen. Don't believe, but they're making it really difficult, which kind of went against what I was like kind of voting for. You know what I mean? They're kind of making it completely difficult for people to become citizens. And I was like,
can I pitch an idea to you?
Yes, sir.
Mass amnesty. right?
I've heard of that. I've actually heard of that. Yeah. So you get,
let me run this by you real quick. Yeah. So instead of spending $88 billion a year for mass deportation, where they're literally violating the rights of undocumented immigrants and American citizens, and like literally shooting American citizens in the face, we go through mass amnesty, where we say, hey, if you're currently here, you have this window to declare and say, hey, I would like to officially become a citizen of the United States. And that allows us to, one, get an official count as far as how many immigrants we have in the country, because the numbers are unsure. Like there's speculations as far as how many undocumented immigrants we actually have in the country, but no one knows for sure. Two, that gives us a chance to properly vet these undocumented immigrants, because once they come forward and say, hey, I want citizenship, then we're going to put them through the ringer as far as vetting them, including making sure that they're not someone that just showed up, but someone who's been here and a part of our country and like actually adding to our country. Three, it would allow them to successfully integrate into our economy. And there's already been massive positive benefits when it comes to the federal level, when it comes to taxes and all this other stuff. But then you roll them into the state level and all the additional things that it opens up, like access to home loans, education, all this other stuff, where we can make more money. It'll stimulate the economy in multiple ways. And then
get clarity with SEMrush AI optimization. Track where and how your brand appears.